Hey everybody, welcome to Barn Quilts by Mountain Visions. This is Kathy. I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. Now, this is kind of a simple pattern that you could just look at, most of you could, and draw it out. But for those of you who are beginners, I want to show you how to do it. This is just a sweet little bluebird. And if you've got a beginner's class, or if you're a beginner yourself, this is an easy one to start with, and it'll turn out just beautiful. So, let me tell you, I'm struggling with trying to put a video up every week, and I don't get to do that very often. So here's what I'm thinking. Every time I get a commission piece like this one, I'm going to do a video. Or anytime somebody needs one for a gift, I'm going to do a video. So that way I'm not just doing barn quilts and having them stacked up down here in the basement, but every once in a while I get a urge to make myself a new one, so I'll video it as well. And I'm not sure if I showed you that spring bouquet or not. If I can find the picture of it, I'll insert it right here. And if not, I'll just probably paint it. So, okay, let's just get started on the bluebird, because it's just going to be really easy and simple. All you have to do is follow these lines. So, let me show you what I went ahead and blocked it off, and I'll show you what I did. So, before I get started, let me tell you, I'm drawing this on paper. I don't draw it on paper when I'm doing a barn quilt. I use heat erasable pens, and I've got a video up about how to choose your writing instrument. So just find that, and if I think about it, I'll hook it on to the end here. But anyway, these are heat erasable pens, and they're called friction pens or fabric pens. So they're just really easy to use on your board. You wipe them off or take a heat tool and get rid of them when you're trying to paint. So for now, I've just got flip chart paper, and we're going to use the erasable colored pencils just to draw our pattern on this board, on this paper. So the first thing, I went ahead and did this so the video wouldn't be too long. This one, if you'll look at it, it has a double border. Well, we made the black outer border 3/4 inches, and I wrote that up here. And then the inner border is only 1/4 of an inch. So we wanted to have the black for a frame, but the inner border matches this big wing. And I'll show you the colors when I'm finished showing you the pattern. Just hang on. But anyway, that's what I've done. So if you'll look at the other part of it, probably it'd be easier to show you here. See, that's only 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just 5 blocks. So that's why we used a 5-block grid. And a lot of times you can just look at the barn quilt and you can count the blocks, and you'll know how many blocks are in your grid. So I've got 5 across and 5 up. And some people say that's a 25-block grid. Well, if you hear that, you'll know it's 5 across and 5 up. Now, when I took, this is a 24 inch, and that's what that barn quilt is, a 24 by 24. When I took a 1 inch off of the right side and 1 inch off the left side, it left me 22 inches. So I divided the 5 into 22 and got 4.4. So I wrote that down here, so when you take a snapshot of this pattern, you'll have those measurements as well. And then the rest of it, I'm serious, it's just following the pattern where the lines go. Now, for those of you who have done this 100 times, you don't need that, but people who are new may need that. So I need a ruler, don't I? If I can find one without paint all over it. Let me show you this before I get started too. Not sure if you can see it, but I marked where 4.4 is on that ruler. Let me see if I can get it right there. You see it? That's 4.4. Now make sure you start at the 0, not at the end of your ruler. If you do that, you're going to be off. You start where the 0 starts. Okay? If you can't see that very well, just Google and say, show me where 4.4 is on the ruler. Now, some of you that took geometry and all this, you wouldn't need to do that, but I did. Took one day of geometry. That was it. All right. So we got our 5 blocks. Now let me show you. You see this line is just going from the left corner diagonally up to the right corner. And that's all we have to do. We're just drawing that line. So that's going to be your green. And then for this block, see, this is the second block. It's going from the top left to the bottom right. This is the third block. It's going from the top left to the bottom right. You see, these patterns are really easy. Now this one is going from the top right to the bottom left. And this one, top left, bottom right. So I always draw my border on first. If you don't, it's really easy to mess up where these lines stop at. All right, now look at the second one. See this second one? Top left, bottom right. And see, what you could do is draw all the way across here. But I didn't do that because I'm taking it one block at a time for y'all. See that? Make sure it connects. All right, then we just got a straight line here. See that block? It's just straight. And also, see this? This is from the top left to the bottom right. Lines up with that one. This one, top left to bottom right. And then that one, left, bottom left, top right. All right, then this one is the top left, bottom right. Did I say bottom left to the top? You see that? That's this. All right. We're almost halfway through. I'm not sure if you can see that other one or not. We'll put it back up there in a minute. So the third one, this is blank, but on the second block, the left the left part of that grid is also part of your pattern. All right. Then with this one, we want to go in the center and make a mark. Now, at being 4.4, you know, you're just going to have to get on 2, and you see you got these 2 left, just go in the middle here. All right, and then you're going to go in the middle. We're on the 3rd row, 2nd block, and you're going to go in the middle of that block and make a tick mark. The 3rd block, go in the center of that one and make a tick mark. Just make sure you make it as close to the center as you can. So here's what we're going to do with this one. This piece of the grid is part of your pattern. And then we're going to connect those 2 tick marks. And we're going to connect those 2 tick marks. And then this line here, so we just drew this here, here, and here, and over. But right here goes all the way to the end. That is part of that big wing. And it's also your grid. All right. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the 5th one, you need to draw it from the right corner down to the left. Okay, so here's, okay, all right, here, go back to that 2nd one again. See that part here? That's part of your grid as well. So now you can look, you got the top of the bird here. I'm making sure I've drawn it right here. Here. Okay, right here is the top of this 1st row on 3 and 4. That's part of the pattern as well. Let me show you. See, this is the top of that 2nd row, 3 and 4. That line here, that's part of the pattern right there. And then you can see that you got the big wing. Yep, that's right. You got the big wing. All right, now, here's how I find the center. If I'm putting this beak on right here, I'm going to do that last because I don't want to mess it up. But for the 4th row, this is the 1st block, we're going to go up about 3/4 of the way. So what I did, I just come down 1 1/4 inch. It's going to work out. And then the same way over here. Whatever you come down here, come over the same amount. And that is part of your pattern right here. And then we're going to connect those 2. See that? And we'll come back and put the beak on in a minute. This one is part of the pattern of his head. So his head goes over here, and then it goes, you're going to go to on the 3rd row, a 3rd block, 4th row, from the left down to the right. And then back up from the left, the bottom left to the top right. If I can get this, hold on to it, it won't be jumping around. All right, then this part of your grid is also part of your pattern. Let's see, you can see the shape of the bird. And then we have these two blocks. So up at the top, it's blank on 1, 2, and 3, but on number 4, draw a diagonal across that block, going from left, top left, bottom right. And then here, we're going to line up with that other line here, but we're going to go from the top right to the bottom left. You can see I made a mess. Oh well. Don't erase out too good. Alright, now I'll color these in just a minute, so that'll kind of help you too. Well, let's go ahead and draw his beak. Now we want that beak to center. The point of the beak needs to center in this. So we're going to put our ruler up there, and it's 3 inches. The way we did it, it ended up being 3 inches. So we're going to put that on 1.5. Now we're going to go over here all the way to the end and get right there on that 3 down here and make it 1.5 so that it's centered here. And you can go ahead and draw. I made my beak like 1.5. Yeah, make it like 1.5 inches that way. But that's just a guideline now, because what we want to do is go down to the bottom of this block, that 4th row, first block, the one we were working in, on the right hand corner, and draw up to there. And then this should line up here. See there? Now that's just a guideline, so that's not part of the pattern, but you needed to do that to get it straight. And then all I done for the eye, some people don't put, see, that's what we did. See that? You take a snapshot of that if you wanted to. That part right here, it's not going to give you any trouble. Just do it the way I did it. But see that eye? And a lot of people don't put an eye on there. But my client wanted an eye, so all I did, now I'm not an artist, so I just drew a teardrop like that. And then this part is black, and I left just a little, no, I didn't leave it, I put just a little dot of white in there. And this part is bright white, so it would show up. Okay, so do you need me to draw that out? You'll take a snapshot of it, and I will make a mark. Let me get some more colored pencils, and I'll make a mark where they go as I show you what colors I use. Okay, do you have a screenshot of that? Now, all you have to do is just use your phone, take a screenshot of it and print it out, or just have your phone handy. If you take a screenshot of it and have your phone handy, you could just draw it out off of your phone. All right, so this section here, I used bold avocado. So I'm just going to color that in. I used bold avocado here, this section. See, that line's part of your pattern as well. Okay, then the darker green, I used Isle of Pines. And see if I got a dark green here. And that's this one. And this one. And this one. Now for the brown, I used natural bark. But now, if you don't have these shades and you've got other light and dark green or another shade of brown, that's going to work. You don't have to use what I used. But these are the leaves, and that's just the representing the tree that the bird might be sitting on. Okay, then let's do that. The blue. All right, I'm gonna move these over here. For the deep blue, this deep blue over here, I used Deep River. So the Deep River is the top of his head, all the way into this block, into this triangle, up here where his wing is, and his tail. His tail feathers are blue. Alright, now that's the dark blue. And then for the light blue, I used Moment of Grace. And I'll tell you in a minute what brands those are. And this Moment of Grace is the border here, that 1/4 inch border, and his big wing. Now I know you can't hardly tell this one, but hopefully on your phone you'll be able to see just where the shades are supposed to be, the different colors are supposed to be. Alright, then let me find that other color here. I'm not sure I have the color here that I used is called Flaming Torch. And I was going to see if I had some kind of marker that, well, this looks sort of orange, but you'll get the gist of it. In fact, if you had a reddish orange color, you could put what you wanted to there. Alright, then again, that was Flaming Torch. And for the background, I used Ultra White. You could use light gray, whatever you wanted to. I guess you could even do a black background. Some folks like that. But for his, let's see if I can find a black one in here. Black markers are always the ones hiding someplace, ain't it? Well, here's one. I think it's got glitter in it, but you'll know. This is the black beak. And his eye. And the 3/4 inch border. Okay. Let me move this. And you could take another screenshot. But again, this is just a a pretty little bluebird. Take that screenshot and take this one. And then I'm going to lay the colors out here. Bold Avocado, which is Valspar. Isle of Pines, which is Valspar. Natural Bark, Valspar. Limousine Black, Valspar. Deep River is Bear. Moment of Grace is Bear. Ultra White is Valspar. And Flaming Torch is Valspar. Now, if you take a screenshot of that, I started labeling the bottom of my bottle so that I could tell you when I was videoing, I could tell you the brand name, because folks say, well, I couldn't find it. Well, I wanted you to be sure it's either Bear or Valspar. I've got Glidden, and I think I've used Sherwin-Williams before, but not in this. So there you go. Now, I've got a video coming up where I'm going to test these markers. I did that in one video before. Folks say, well, that comes back when it gets cold. Well, it don't if you paint over it or if you wipe it off. It don't come back. But if you write over paint, or you don't paint over that, you don't wipe it off, it's going to come back when it gets cold. But the rain's going to wash it off if you got this hanging outside. So you're all right. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that. And I will... What one did I say I was going to hang on to the back of the end of this one? Was it about the... I think it was about these, just how to choose a writing instrument. But I don't think I've done that test. I'll look at it again. I may have already done that test and showed that to you online. I'll have to look. I don't want to repeat myself. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this. And I'll see you all in another video. Let me show you something about this bluebird. And I have gone over it and over it and over it to make sure I had all the little touch-ups touched up that needed touched up. But as I was going around the edges one more time, you know, these edges here, just to make sure I hadn't missed anything, look what I saw. Look at that. Can you see it? I missed a spot between that little border and that green section. And that's an easy fix. But had I not turned that thing just the right way, the way the light was shining on it, I would have missed that. Okay, easy fix.